On page 213 and 214, we are going to look at dividing monomials. So we've added and subtracted them, where you only add or subtract the coefficients. Then we multiplied them, and when you multiply, you leave the base the same and you add the exponents. So now when we divide, we're going to use the quotient rule. So quotient again means to divide. And what you do is you subtract. So this becomes x to the a minus b. So when you multiply, you add. When you divide, you subtract. So when we look at number 1, you leave the 12 exactly as it is. It doesn't become 1. It's just 12, and then 7 minus 5 is 2. So 12 squared. Number 2, again, you leave the negative 6 in parentheses. 12 minus 4 would give us 8. So negative 6 in parentheses to the 8th power. Number 3, remember the bottom one has a 1 for an exponent, so that becomes 4 to the 9th power. So you are simply subtracting the exponents, but leave the base, the big number, the same. Number 4, when you subtract, you get 9 to the negative 2. So then we have to rewrite it, so it's 1 over 9 squared. Remember, negative exponents need to go to the bottom. Number 5, when you subtract, you get 8 to the 0, and we have to remember that anything to the 0 power is 1. So now you can see why that happens. Remember, anything divided by itself cancels out to 1. So that's why anything to the 0 power is 1. Number 6, you need to be a little careful. This becomes negative 5 to the negative third. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. So then again, that needs to go to the denominator, 1 over negative 5 to the positive third. Number 7, we would have x to the 8th power, 10 minus 2. So it's the same thing even if it's just variables. Number 8 would be w to the negative 5. So again, we need to write that as 1 over w to the positive 5. Number 9, we have 1 minus 4 would give us negative 3. And again, that needs to go to the denominator. So 1 over p to the positive 3. When you have more than 1, you just do each one separately. So when we look at number 10, first we have m. 3 minus 2 is 1. Again, you don't need to put the 1, but you can if you want. N to the 4th. So that's all your answer needs to look like. Number 11, we would have r to the 5th. 2 minus negative 3 is positive 5. So r to the 5th. S would be to the negative 7th. Negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. So then we need to rewrite that. R to the 5th stays on top. S to the positive 7th then is on the bottom. For 12, we would have a to the negative 7 when you subtract those, b to the positive 6, and c to the 0. So remember, anything to the 0 is 1. Your b to the 6th stays on the top, and a to the 7th goes to the bottom. So when it's just variables or just numbers with your exponents, you leave the base the same and you subtract your exponents. Now, if we have numbers in front, again, remember this is division. So you divide the coefficients. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. So the big numbers, the coefficients, you actually divide, and then you write your variable. So C, 10 minus 3 is 7. So you divide your big numbers, but subtract your little numbers, your exponents. For 14, negative 36 divided by 4 is 9. k negative 9, and then k to the second power, 6 minus 4. Number 15, 10 divided by 2 is 5. X to the 3 minus 1 is 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So then our final answer, the 5 stays and the x goes to the bottom, 5 over x. For 16, we have negative 4 when we divide. A, negative 12 minus negative 4 is negative 8. The negative 4 stays on the top. It's a negative 4 as a number, not a negative exponent. So that stays on top, and then a to the 8th goes on the bottom. For 17, most people make this 2. 3 over 6 is 1/2. All right, we're not going to do 0.5, we're going to do 1/2. H to the 5th, 4 minus negative 1. So you want to write that as h to the 5th over 2. Number 18, 15 over 24, that can be simplified to 5 over 8. Then v to the 10th stays on top. So 5v to the 10th over 8. If you want to write it as 5/8 v to the 10th, you technically can, but usually we want it as just one fraction. Number 19, 3 over 18 is 1 over 6. So negative 1 over 6. And then we would have r to the negative 4. So that r to the negative 4 needs to go to the bottom. Your negative 1 stays on the top. 6r to the 4th then is on the bottom. Number 20, that can be simplified to 2 over 5. Negative 2 minus 9 is negative 11. So 2w to the negative 11 over 5. So now the w needs to go down below. 2 over 5w to the 11th. Number 21, when we divide, we get negative 7. X to the 0, negative 4 minus negative 4 is 0. And then y to the 3rd. So that cancels out and you're just left with negative 7 y to the 3rd. Just do one thing at a time. For 22, that would simplify to 8 over 5 m to the negative 1. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. And then n to the positive 6. Negative 2 minus negative 8 is positive 6. So we just need to move the m down. So 8n to the 6th is on the top, and 5m is on the bottom. The rest of 23 through 30 will be on a separate video.